decarbonisation and electrification are growing globally. Decarbonisation is effectively the generation of power with low carbon emissions, and electrification is the use of batteries. Now, batteries store power, batteries discharge power, but batteries don't generate power. So for both decarbonisation and electrification, we need reliable, carbon-free baseload energy, and that's what nuclear is. Nuclear is perfect for that, the world's growth in power as we move forward. And the issue we have at the moment is the supply-demand. There's a lot of demand out there as we continue to grow our nuclear fleet to satisfy the power demands, but there's been no incentive for new production to come online. So as a consequence, there's a shortage of supply. Now that's further impacted by COVID last year, with the Kazakhstan and the Canadian operations being reduced in terms of their supply. So the only way for the industry to get new supply into the market and meet demand is for the uranium price to go up. And that's the only way it can go, is up. So we built a strategy a couple of years ago where we developed a strategy to acquire projects, to acquire tenements that met a defined criteria. And then we want to explore on those tenements to build a heap of resource base. And the defined criteria I'm talking about is upgrade. Upgrade is an in-house patented process that we developed, and we apply it to these projects, and they reduce the cost base by the order of 50%. So that's the catalyst, that's the incentive for us to go and explore, because we know if we've got a nominal grade project and our peers have got the same grade, we can develop that project at a far lower cost than them because we have the upgrade process. Now, find a developer strategy, but we've been delivering on it. We've gone and acquired £48 million of good grade assets in Australia. We're successfully exploring on our largest tenement position in Namibia. We've got a few recent discoveries, and obviously, as I said before, the upgrade process is what lowers the cost base and really gives us the benefit and the incentive to go and explore and develop. So Namibia is a fantastic province. It's the fourth largest uranium province in the world. It's got an uranium industry that's been operating for in excess of 45 years. So it's familiarisation with uranium. It's familiarisation with anything associated with it. We've got the Namibian Uranium Association, the only country in the world with a dedicated uranium association in that country to look after look after explorers and producers, and they're the conduit to government, stakeholders, shareholders, general public. They do a fantastic job in country. Now, we've got the Marineque Uranium Project sitting up north of the Rossing mine. It's been sitting there since 1976 operating. It's a 61 million pound resource. We've managed to increase the grade about 50 times to about 5,000 ppm using our upgrade process. So that's where we developed upgrade. That's what we learned, how it applies to all these deposits in Namibia. So what our target mineralisation is, the calcrete-hosted shallow paleochannels. So we believe the uranium is leached from the granites in the east, flowed towards the coast over millions of years, and in these old river systems, as we call them, paleochannels, and deposited where the conditions are right. Generally, these paleochannels are less than 20 metres deep, so they're really shallow exploration. So we've built up a ground position in Namibia, with, as I say, the largest in the country, and we're focusing down in the Namib area in the south of this Orongo region at the moment. So Namib, we looked at this area because General Mining explored on it for late 70s, early 80s. General Mining morphed into Gencor. They found the known deposits of Langaheinrich, Tumas, and Oceananus, and we thought, well, let's just move upstream because uranium's got to flow through these tenements to get to the known deposits. So we picked up this ground upstream. We've gone and discovered the Copies project, the Herobeb project. We've just flown an airborne EM over it. Results just out last week, and that's given the information for our geological teams to now go and develop an exploration program, drill program around those results. So it's a great province to be in because there's a plus 270 million pound of uranium there, and we're already demonstrating that we can find more. So we're looking forward to exploring in this area. I won't give too much detail on these. We don't have the time to do it, but I'd welcome anybody coming back to me at a later date to ask further questions on these, but quite an exciting province to be in. Now in Australia, we've picked up 48 million pound. I mentioned earlier. We paid equivalent of 4 cents per pound in the ground for this uranium, and we know that we haven't got a resource on Erbigerma. We can't announce it. It's an historical resource, so that actually would lower the cost even further for these projects in terms of per pound. So 4 cents per pound. I'll take you back to when I was consulting to Extract Resources in the 2012, 2011, somewhere around there. They sold the Husab project in Namibia for $4.50 per pound in the ground. The Kazakhs and the Chinese just did a deal where the Chinese picked up 49% of an asset in Kazakhstan for $8 a pound. I'm not suggesting there were $8 or $4.50 a pound for these assets, but what I'm telling you is that these were an absolute steal when we picked them up for 4 cents a pound. So we've got heavy leveraged uranium price on these projects, plus any value we can add. And talking about value add, the Angela deposit, the largest of these deposits, is 31 million pound just south of Alice Springs. The impediment to it being developed previously was a very high acid consumption, 100 to 120 kilos per tonne of acid in the leach. What we've done is we've applied our smarts picked up from Upgrade, and we've lowered the acid consumption by 80%. So we've essentially reduced that sort of cost by about $32 a pound. So a fantastic result for us on that, and demonstrates what sort of value we can add. So just moving on to Upgrade, it's, we've got great assets in Namibia. We've got exploration success there. We've got these good assets in Australia. And then we've got the icing on the cake. The Upgrade process is a process that we developed in-house in collaboration with the CSIRO. We've managed to increase the grade of the Mariniki uranium project from 93 to 5,000 ppm prior to leaching. It rejects plus 95% of the mass. It uses commonly used unit operations that you would find in a base metal, gold, or mineral sands plant. And we've configured them in an unconventional manner for uranium. So that's the innovative nature of it. And what it does for us is that we know it lowers the capex by 50% and the opex by 50%. We've done a scoping study on the Mariniki project. We haven't been able to announce the financial metrics around it because it's an inferred resource at Mariniki. But essentially, it reduces the mass to a point where we've got an option, and we can either leach it and then produce yellow cake on site, or we can take that concentrate off site to a third-party leach refinery, and there are options in Namibia for that, plenty of them. So we could, so that if we leached off-site and refined off-site, that lowers the capex even further because we don't have to build the leach and refinery. So that really gives us optionality, and what it means is that not only can we develop our projects at a lower cost, but we could develop smaller projects, and we could develop lower grade projects than our peers. So it really puts us in a box seat, particularly for these calcrete hosted deposits, which it applies to. And nobody else has got the Upgrade process, so but Elevate. So that's a fantastic position for us to be in. Just a little bit about the company. We've got plenty of experience on the board. We've got in excess of 60 years of uranium experience. We've got a small number of shares on issue. We've got no debt. We've got cash in the bank, which is a fantastic position to be in. And we've got skin in the game as a board management. We've got 6% of the company. We believe in what we're doing. We believe in what the company and what we have and how we can build the company for shareholders. So a fantastic position to be in when you're cash in the bank and you don't need cash for the next 18 months, and you can go on your aggressive exploration program. So very happy with that. Now, just in summary, Namibian tenements, the largest position for nuclear fuels in the country. Successful exploration occurring. We've discovered the Herabeb, we've discovered copies. We've got plenty more assets to explore. We've got the 61 million pound uranium resource at the Mariniki uranium project, which we've lowered the cost base by substantially. We've got 48 million pound of resources in Australia, which we're already demonstrating how Upgrade can lower that cost base. We've got an experienced team with a track record. And what a great time to be in the uranium industry. The need for baseload carbon-free energy continues to grow. So we're really excited about what the future holds for the company and also for the uranium price. So thanks for your time. Look, we're not, isn't it unusual? We've, since my time at the helm, we've done a capital raising nearly every year, and we raised a heap of money at the end of November last year. We then have options that have been in the money, so they've been exercised, picked up another 3 million just recently from that. So we actually don't need to do a capital raising before the end of next year, which is a fantastic position to be in. Yeah, look, that the airborne EM survey we did in Namibia has really given us the impetus to go and explore and plan our drill programs. So it was something we had to do to really accelerate our exploration programs, because it gave us the outline of all the paleo channels, the indicative depths, and where we might find some uranium mineralization. So we're planning, our exploration team now planning some drill programs. So the news flow coming up over the next 6 months in particular will be out of that drill program. So we've secured a rig for the next 9 months. Pretty difficult to get hold of, but with money in the bank, you can do those sorts of things. So we're looking forward to what comes out of those exploration programs.